Hey, it's Eric, back with part 3 of our NEEDLEHEARTS doll build. Let's start by going over the materials we'll need. First up is Podge. I like the matte version. I've got a little glass with some water in it, just a little bit. I've got some Jute, like twine. Surprise cat! X-Acto knife, pokers, things like that. Our little accessories. Don't know if we'll get to those, but this piece is most important. I like this textured paper towel. It looks kind of like cloth. You can see it here close up on scissors. The detail comes out really nice with some simple dry brushing, so I like the textured kind. But let's get to it. So the first things that we're going to want to do is mix up this Mod Podge with our little bit of water. We don't need just straight Mod Podge, it's a little too sticky. Be sure to spill some on your work surface, but then let's clean that up really quick. It's very sticky in the towel there, but mix, mix, mix. It can be pretty thin, honestly, and I'm just going to start by coating the whole figure. I just want to seal any cracks that are in the air-dry clay, but just also coat the whole surface so that the other stuff has something nice to stick to. This part I haven't sped up because these straight lines, the edges of the paper towel, do not stick well. Something about the way that they're cut, so make sure to tear off all those straight edges. The tear lines stick really nicely and are a lot more workable, so try to use those where you can. I just ripped it up into some small strips here, and then we're just going to work on placing this on our doll. I'm going to use this needle tool a lot, just poking it into place. I kind of like roll it to roll out some of the excess glue, wipe off where you need to, apply more when you need to. The needle tool is nice because you can just keep kind of like rolling out creases or even rolling in some creases and stuff like that if you want to get a little bit more texture into the paper towel. Apply more Mod Podge mixture as needed and keep working it. So you can see here the head is pretty easy to do. I don't need to be super purposeful with like the wrap because I can just nudge everything back in place with my little needle tool. And here I'm going to prep carefully with my X-Acto knife a little knot that I'm going to use in a minute. This hand part took me too long to do, to be honest. It was probably the trickiest part of the whole model. But it took a lot of nudging and it did not want to stay on the clay very much at all, so it took a lot of wrapping and poking and stuff like that. And this is an area where I probably could have done a little better with breaking it into smaller chunks. Attaching the thumb, another really difficult part, was just a rolled up piece of paper towel, dipped in glue, and dropped there on the hand. Here I'm going to add that little knot that we made. You can see the thumb move already. There's going to be lots of adjusting that. I wrapped the excess string around the forearm just to make kind of like a little bracer. I thought that felt good and made sure that these pieces wouldn't slide back too far. Trim, get those excess edges off. And then I like to fray the edges of any cords that I cut just so that it looks like this spent a little bit more time. A clean cut looks boring. Alright, fast forward a little bit. I've applied some paper towel to the other hand, tied off with string. That was just really quickly wrapped around the hand because it's going to be behind a shield. I don't have to put a lot of detail in there. I'm not going to add a thumb. Same with the feet. You can see me just nudging with that little needle tool over and over and over again. As the glue starts to dry, it'll become a little bit more tacky and a little bit easier to kind of like mold in place. So sometimes I'm not a very patient artist all the time, but I had to be a little bit more patient here. But yeah. Alright. Let's tie off those boots. Snip, snip. A little extra Mod Podge just to help keep everything nice and where I want it. Snip, snip again on the other foot. And you can see here I'm just doing lots of nudging and bending and fraying and stuff like that. It dries a little bit slower because of the water in there, so you have some time to nudge things around, make sure things are connected where you want them to be. But yeah. And here we are the next morning. Everything is nice and dry. It's almost got kind of like a plasticky sheen to it and a plasticky sort of texture. So the paint is going to stick on a lot easier. And because of the glue, it's actually still like a little bit bendy. So you can kind of bend some of these, especially like the Jute twine and stuff like that. You can still bend that in the direction that you want, get a little bit of, action and narrative in there. The thumb is finally stuck on there real good. But yeah, let's get some accessories. See you in part 4.